We ready?
Yeah.
You beat him up already.
Yeah, we're ready.
Alright.
Are both of the Zooms rolling?
I don't
This
know.
one on.
Yeah, this
It
one's
did.
on too.
I mean,
Alright.
I think we should reset this.
That's alright.
We'll
We just clap it in.
Yeah,
Just
we'll
clap
clap
it in.
The old clap.
Miles, go ahead and start the show.
I need to make sure I can see that.
Bring us
one.
to.
Do it here. We could do 2 claps for A cam and then B cam.
Yeah, where did that? Oh, there it is. Alright. A cam.
Okay. Oh, B cam.
Look at that one down there. C cam.
Nice.
All right, Miles, you gotta eat this thing,
Alright, I'm gonna eat this thing.
and you gotta savor it, and you gotta love it. You gotta take a deep
Yeah.
breath.
So excited for
I guess the podcast has technically been going on for like 30 minutes or so. Video problems, for sure.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, we had some issues with some booking. Not a big deal. So we had Vince McDonald in here, great guy.
Yeah.
Over, eavesdropping a bit, setting
You'll
up.
see a sketch of him later. Actually, I forgot. To I forgot to draw.
You guys could add in like a little
I
soundbite from
drew-
him at the end. Like, hey guys,
Chelsea.
it's Vince.
Yeah, he's gonna be beautiful. But at least we can say thank you, Kane, for coming on to what's it called? As We Go Along podcast.
As we go,
I didn't
thank you
remember
for
either.
having me. I've been a fan since the start.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
I've been super excited to be on here. You know, I think it's been a month since I heard about it. So.
Dude, thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. We have I have with me the amazing Chelsea Steppig.
That is
Chelsea,
me.
you know what? Thanks
What?
so much for coming.
You're welcome.
It's just
I
a
just
pleasure to have you.
Gracing everyone with my amazingness. What can I say? You're
No.
welcome.
Oh, my pleasure.
Little introduction.
Yeah. I have to say, you've been teasing Metro pretty hard on Instagram. How you feeling about it?
The teasing or the Metro?
Well,
Okay, well,
That's
I do love to tease. I believe teasing is like the best way to go about, getting people to watch your movie. I haven't done any funding for it. With the super sequences, it's kind of expected that people spend, $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
and my main thing was I'm not going to spend any money on this, and we kept it under $100, so we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And Perry
Wow.
was with us. If the cameras can see him, probably this one
or that
or that one.
Perry's running audio today. Great guy.
Perry was my producer, and he got everything done, and we
Paperwork.
paperwork. And
Under $100.
Yeah.
What did you spend the $100 on? What was it? One thing or was it a number?
it was a lot of things. It was a stapler,
Mm.
some Polaroids, some art director wanted about $10 for the work, which I have.
That's awesome.
At that point, oh, okay.
I have some of the props here in my backpack.
me? Let me see.
Yeah, bring the backpack over. Yeah, let's see. So our art director is named Abby Dorning. She's wonderful. She's best friends with our main actress, Jenna McDonald.
Mm.
And Jenna is a Webster graduate herself. Let's see if I have the Polaroids. So this is Joe Flo.
Who you've worked with in the past,
Yes, Joe Flo works with Red Bull. He's on the Wings team. Goes to Lindenwood. He is a great
Joe
guy. Great guy. So the concept behind the Polaroids. So these are. I think my crew did that. I think my crew drew on these pages. Were you around when that happened?
No, man.
No? Okay. Well, so we needed a map. Because I can't say the exact plot, but
You gotta
Jenna.
give us like a.
I'll give you a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll do it through the. So, supposedly, or what we'd usually do is have these Polaroids here. I think I had a couple with me. Come on. I think they're. You know what? They're lost.
You lost your Polaroids?
That was
I might
fast.
have.
That's a shame.
They might be in here. Are you in here?
Dang, bro.
I know, right? Right. So you would have 4 Polaroids here, and Eckert is a 24-year-old male who is dating Jenna, and Eckert is the dirty hands of the whole hitman process, and Jenna is the organizer, and they're trying to buy a home together, and that's their big goal. And so
They're trying to buy a home together? Is this a romantic comedy?
I mean, kind of dark.
Oh, God.
Perry knows. There's quite a bit of death in this one, and
Sorry. I didn't want to. I had to. I had to.
so we open. If you guys, I don't know if you guys will be showing. I can give you the file.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I would
would
love
love
that.
it.
We'll
But-
splidge it in there.
Well, we open with Henry Wells being murdered under the bridge of the Metro, and that's why it's called Metro. And before we were supposed to call it Metro because their opening dialogue was supposed to happen on the Metro. But Perry, why can't we film in the Metro?
Well, first of all, it's gonna cost $100 for 1 hour.
Well, that's the entire budget.
Bingo. So it looked like it was gonna end up being, because we're students, first hour free, second hour $350, third hour $350. So
No, we have to pay like $50 an hour for someone to stay there.
yeah,
To
for a
watch
security
it.
guard.
And we can use slang on.
Well, see,
No slang.
Well,
Yeah.
First of all, there's cussing all over the Metro, and second, I think
Yeah.
you can just take your iPhone onto a Metro
Right.
and do it real quick. Maybe
Yeah.
just take the DP and the actor and
Yeah.
the director. Just sit a little farther apart from one another. Don't make a scene. Just kind of run it once or twice.
I love
okay.
that. I love run and gun, and I feel like that was kind of where it was heading. We were supposed to use like a GH4 with like the smallest lens ever and Rode mics, and we were gonna try to do it without them knowing. So Perry came up with an idea of giving them the wrong dates.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, and then we were just gonna show up and shoot. But man, you know how production goes. You can't
Yeah.
have too many like
No,
like
it's okay. It's okay.
yeah.
Too many.
All good. Too many questions unanswered
Yeah.
or uncertainties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Understand. So
we didn't get permits anyway. So
you got the shots though, right?
we did 1 day of production. We were gonna do 2. We were supposed to shoot on St. Patrick's Day, but the roads are all closed and shut down for the fair or the parade. So a little tricky. So we decided to shoot the day before, and no one bothered us. It's St. Louis, like. If anything, they helped us out. Like, people were getting out of shots.
Are you guys part of the news?
Yeah.
I went to, I had a shoot over, I don't even know where it was, but it was at this funny little, it's called LeGrand's. It's just really kind of this awesome little spot. It's like groceries and a sandwich shop. And it's just great little cafe type location. We were shooting, and I just decided I wasn't going to tell them because I'd had trouble all summer securing locations. So I was like, fuck this. We're just going to go and do it, be really quick, and then we're going to go. And if they have like any problems, we'll already have the shots and we can just leave.
Yeah.
And so we like showed up and like talked about it in the bushes basically, and like went through the blocking, and then we did it. Yeah. And then we ended up just being able to go, and we were like, what's going on? And Lilia, who in Los Angeles who was acting. She is a longtime friend, but she was here, and so she was in it, and she said that when she was going into the restaurant every single time, they were just like helping her out, asking about how the production was going, like,
Oh my
like just like totally cool with it. And so we got to shoot there for like 3 hours, and
Oh
they
my
didn't give us
God.
any trouble. So I don't know. That day I learned a lesson about guerrilla filmmaking. It's just so like sometimes they'll just. I mean
Try it.
that hasn't happened to me very often.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll just be like give you some help.
Try the first restaurant and then try the second one.
Yeah, just keep going to different
And-
places, I guess.
That's such a good. I feel like that's such a good look on St. Louis too.
Yeah.
Like people, sometimes people are scared of big cameras, like, or they're intimidated by them or something, or they have to call the police when they see one. But we had no problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Geez, it was nice. It was really
Do you
nice.
typically like a lot of production into your like when you're setting up? You have something for like like getting ready for bed scene.
Mhm.
Do you like to have like all kinds of different lighting rigs and boards everywhere, or do you like to be on the I'm asking this poorly, but on the spectrum of like minimal to like
Yeah.
flamboyant? Where
Okay.
do you fall on
No,
the
yeah, no, that's a good way to
production
put it.
scale of your
I think
films?
when I'm DPing, I go full 10. Or used to. I would, it'd be like an hour setup for a bed shot, which we've done overhead rig with, natural light coming in and
Yeah,
there's like
for
an
love rolls.
HMI on the roof or, crazy stuff like that. And like Justin May, he's gaffing it and they're doing a great job. But like, I've kind of come to where I do more with less. So more bounces, more negative fill, just kind of simplistic shooting. But with Metro, I wasn't DPing, so I didn't really give our DP too much of a chance to light anything. We didn't have any lights. Okay, we had a 2K because there was a teacher who was shooting that weekend and he took all the lights. But that's okay. We didn't have outlets, so who cares?
You had the 2K though.
We had the.
wasn't K.
I mean, we could have sold the 2K for more budget. I don't know.
So, typically you're a DP, right?
I would say, yeah, most of the time I'm a DP.
So how did it feel being in the director's chair?
It was good. It was nice because I feel like doing that. I realized I kind of came from directing. I feel like we're all kind of like that. We came from a town where we're like the only video people, so you have to be the one to kind of orchestrate everything. And it was like it felt right. So I might direct a little more. I mean, I know you're kind of natively a director, and you do I hear you do a pretty good job of it. And from what I've seen, you do a pretty good job. And
I like directing. Yeah.
yeah,
It's where I'm most comfortable, I would say.
yeah. And
Yeah.
how did you get there? Like that comfort?
I feel most comfortable when I'm in like a space of leadership,
Yeah.
and so that's not to say that I'm not good at taking direction, but in soccer, where I really learned everything really that I'm kind of going off of for directing and like learning to lead. That's where I just learned that I could be like have a voice and like organize people.
Yeah.
And that's just directing,
Yeah.
And a lot of, I mean, I don't make any movies. Like I just kind of like organize groups of people to make movies, and like that's what I really like to do.
Man, I wish Vince heard you say that, because Vince, his whole company, he hasn't touched a jacket. He hasn't really designed or made a jacket, but he finds the right people and puts them all together,
Yeah.
and then they do the work. And if you do that right, then you won't on the day of production, you're not really stressing too much.
Well, that's the other thing
But-
that like a director like determines a lot of like what goes on set, because he or she and the producer are making the decisions of who, like you just said, of who you hire,
Yeah.
and that's it's a huge decision.
Yeah. I mean,
Directing's hard.
it's hard. Oh well, it's hard. It's stressful. There was like a week before where I just canceled everything, and I thought I had a lot to do. Everything was done. We had our paperwork done, but it was just like I took time off to stress about it, just to think of how stressed I am. Like, oh man.
So what did that result in?
Over preparedness, which is really, I would say, really good. We did like 3 location scouts, and then our DP, he showed up the day before and like just walked the entire set and every scene by himself. Didn't even tell me.
Huh.
On the day of shooting, he's like, "Hey, yeah, I was here yesterday. I noticed this shot." I'm like, "What?" Jake D'Annunzio, DP.
He's usually an editor too. Right?
Usually,
Like-
yeah, he's a VFX guy. Really computer savvy, which is great to have as a DP because if anything, I mean, we were planning on doing an entire oneer, just a long, like 6-minute oneer. But I couldn't do that to actors. I know, it would have been
Couldn't
so...
do that to actors. That's an actor's dream.
Well, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Well,
Right.
maybe not everybody, but it's a challenge for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's a
maybe
fucking
you're-
challenge. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's, a good director brings it out of somebody, or like a
Mhm.
good actor like steps up to like a really long emotional experience, like
Yeah.
focused emotional experience. That's exhausting, but no, I don't mean to say. I was
No,
just making a joke.
I see what you're saying, but like, I guess with you, if you're directing or DPing, do you feel like as a DP, you're gonna step back a bit more that now that you've had that like directing bigger
Step
film?
back from
from
control?
Yeah, like getting into the director's space.
I think when I started as a DP, and I wouldn't really say that loosely because like I hate calling myself a DP now. It's more of like I'm trying to get there.
Sure.
But I don't know. A lot of people are kind of like that. I have too much respect for like cinematography. But in the beginning, I feel like I kind of over controlled a lot of things. But technically, it's a good thing. Stepping back from coaching and like giving direction as like a camera operator is really hard because you're always the closest person to the actor, and they're always, when you cut, they're always the first eyes. They're always looking to you for gratification. I know it's usually to the director, but
No, that's very interesting.
this is like you're the first line of feed, so it goes through me first, and then it goes to a monitor where the director is. So like the closest relationship like this person has to the camera and the lens is like the person holding the camera. So like you can always whisper like, "Hey, you should emphasize, and that's
Ooh.
kind of taboo. You shouldn't direct. But maybe that's why I thought directing was my thing because I watch other people direct, and I kind of, I wish I could say something.
Yeah, it's a weird industry where there are times where honestly, it seems like it would make more sense to just speak up about it.
Yeah.
But it's so like,
Yeah.
no, stay in your
lane. Yeah.
camera operator.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? Like, that is like such. I was actually just. I don't mean to like butt in, but I was reading a book about it. The author was the guy who wrote the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and he was kind of. It was just like this gossipy reflection as he was older and coming out of the Hollywood system, like of what it was for him and like what he experienced. And he talked about. I think I have a fucking booger. He talked about.
Use the Yeah, there you go.
He talked about.
No, you're good. You're bug free.
Okay, good.
Booger free.
He talked about how like possibly destructive that like mentality was, that like you stay in your lane, and how it was developed through like the star system, what he called it, like the actors being stars that you pay so much. And he talked about how that like developed and how that like first idea of an actor just being an actor, because apparently before they were just actors. They did like construction, and like the production houses would like put them to fucking work.
Yeah.
But this dude stood up one day and said, "No, I'm an actor. I'm not gonna do shit except act." And then like he said, since then, this idea of like singularity
Hierarchy.
in the production and a hierarchy
Yeah.
has been like instilled into the culture like completely. And I sometimes think it's like toxic. I like preach against it honestly sometimes, but I also don't know, because sometimes somebody just has to make a decision.
Yeah.
And it only has to be one person. So I sometimes like I shouldn't say that last bit.
No, I think you're right. Just because like decision making is huge, and at one point everybody needs to know like who that person is going to be. So like efficiency is huge on set.
Yeah.
Like
It's true.
But
Efficiency.
also we were on set recently where we kind of did have a little overlap.
Mhm.
And I think it works okay on small films.
Yeah.
I think on like those big feature films, there are
Mhm.
like 100, 200 people working. It's just like not efficient.
I think I've seen it go both ways. There are times when people would be like, "Hey, do you mind if I give an opinion?" And it's like the best. It's the best change or decision we've had on set or something, or to save something. But I mean, I can say I appreciate both. On like smaller commercials, when everyone's kind of chiming in, it can be like the best, like just massive painting that everyone's kind of. But I think like you saying, like coming from a director, I feel there are decisions to make that not everyone, people might not know the same vision. Like there are times when Matthias Wagner, will co-DP, and it's the worst thing ever, because it just that just doesn't work.
Did you co-DP on Bait & Co?
So he directed and operated while that's a really weird combination because I DP'd, which because in my eyes DPing is mostly lights and composition, but I had no control over composition
Because he was operating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's very composition strong. I'm very lighting strong and less composition. So it's a really, like, that was a harmony because I didn't try to say anything about the lens or camera, so I just kind of stepped back. Because you know how Matthias works. He gets ideas and then he just runs.
Puts his head down.
And I feel like you guys will have him on one of these days with Julius. Like that would be a really cool episode. I was telling him about that I was gonna be here, and he's like, "Oh, you better kill it." He's like, "I can't wait to be on it." I'm like, well, they haven't accepted you at Matthias.
Yeah, we'll give him a little background check.
We'll see if he's okay.
Meaningless.
Yeah, look at his reel or something.
I think Chelsea, maybe we'll give you your own solo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I get a solo. I don't know what I would talk about, honestly.
Well, in pharmacy, they divide that all up in the back room. Like you can't do certain things that.
What's
like the people
that
under
sounds
you.
so boring to talk about.
If you say so.
I'm serious.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What is something that you dream? Have you ever had a dream twice in a row, like one dream and then one dream after it that were the same? And
That's so weird, but yeah, it
What
is a
was
weird
it?
dream though.
What was
I had
it?
a dream whenever I was younger. We had to go to like a nursing home and play with the older people. And I had a
Play
dream
with
that.
them? It's like, match.
Okay, not like that. You know, like hang out with them. I don't know.
Like
It
push
just-
up on this.
No.
No, you go, sorry.
I got you.
Okay, we're just you. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
Sorry.
Anyways, so I had the lady that I worked with. I had a dream that she tried to bury me alive.
Holy shit.
I know. And my aunt came and like.
You should
saved-
write this down.
Saved the day. Yeah, it's.
Do you want story
I have
credit?
had that dream like 6 times now. It's
6
actually really
times?
cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, Jesus Christ! When you wake up,
It's
I've never.
scary as hell because that happened whenever I was like what,
Very-
7,
very young.
6, 7, and yeah, yeah, that's a long time to have a dream.
Yeah, I've only had one dream twice, and it was just like I had it when I was really, really young.
Right.
Like the memory feels like fuzzy and like fog, but like it was this super clear dream, like super visceral, like right in front of me. And then I like woke up crying, and I was like super duper happy, and it was like this really short dream,
Wow.
and I was like in such a state of elation, and then I was like, okay, I'm going back to sleep. But then I had it again like 3 years later, and it was like the same dream. It was really weird, and I woke up with the same like
That was
sense
Deja vu
of
comes
my
from there.
yeah. I don't know.
You
it
might
was-
live it.
It's weird
That's
because
awesome,
you
though.
had a
Yeah.
nightmare and you
I
had-
know.
I know, that's
why
why I was
that sounds
interested to
so
hear that it was-
positive.
yeah.
And mine was so negative. Like I'd wake up and be like almost into like negative tears.
Well,
and you're
I'm sure
like,
it's
I'm
just-
happy.
Do you think dreaming is just what you're thinking about at the time, or what is dreaming that you've had it 6 times?
I don't know. I think that was just like something traumatic. Maybe the
True.
lady really scared me. Like
True.
something other. But
Do you know her in real life, like personally?
Did you
No.
keep
she's
up with her?
probably not alive.
But now you have a profession that's kind of revolving around the old
Wow,
people.
she really
People,
shaped
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
She did. She
And
is
you're
the
kind
one
of
got me into
buried by
pharmacy.
all the work, so you have a good
Maybe
gig,
it
though.
was as a metaphor as a
She
child. I'm just a prophet. I don't know.
You're a prophet.
Yeah.
here to just bring
What I'll
medicine to the people.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, to the sick people. That's cool.
I'm a savior.
You have a really cool gig though. She works 2 days a week, and then the rest of the week she models.
That is true.
That sounds really fun.
I thought pharmaceutical companies were like super horrible, and
They are.
and you work for the man.
Well, so it's a
Or the
7-year
woman.
commitment,
Or the woman, yeah.
and you can't leave once you start.
I'm sorry,
It's
in
a
the pharmacy.
7 year, yeah, like in
It's a how
pharmacy.
many
She's a
years?
doctorate.
7 years.
Oh, okay, so they
Yeah,
said
it's a
70.
doctorate.
I was like,
No.
that is a cult, is what that is.
Actually, yeah, I have a lot of
7
cool
years.
stuff. I can stay young forever. But yeah, no, 7 years. So it's expensive. I don't know.
Wait, is that a joke about like staying young forever?
Yeah, I'm actually what is it? Let's see, 97 now.
It's the
Medicine.
pharmacy, man.
It's pharmacy.
Express Scripts.
Big
And
pharma,
whenever you
dude.
work in big pharma,
Yeah,
they
big
give you the
pharma.
stuff that no one else can get. No big deal.
Have you ever heard of a president getting sick?
Yeah.
Donald
Yeah.
Trump is, I
I was gonna
guarantee
say, I
you,
can
there's
think
some
of
really
quite a
fucked up
few.
shit going on in
Yeah.
his body right
Oh.
now.
Who's the one who had polio?
Oh, okay.
Polio.
But he was the
heart
first. He was the
problems.
first to get cured. So.
So that makes it all okay.
Or the-
That's actually like a conspiracy that I've always tried to bring up to people. Is like you never hear of public officials dying of a terminal illness.
Well, it's because
they
it's
have-
all money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can pay for anything to be cured, I think.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that
I
there
love
are?
racing, yeah.
Do you think that there are fucking cures that the government hasn't released?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You would be the best to tell
Why?
us, yeah.
Why haven't they released it?
No, why do you think that? Because why do you think that?
I just know where we are, like, in medical science. Like, we're more advanced than what's on the market, for sure.
I have a feeling that our treatments that we do to not cure the types of diseases that we have out there make a lot of money and provide a lot of jobs and kind of support a really big industry. And if you got rid of it by curing or coming with a cure, then a lot of people would lose jobs and money. But would that create jobs too?
But the people at the top of that would get so fucking rich
Yeah.
that they wouldn't give a shit about the people that they were laying off.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe.
well, I mean, people make incredible amounts of money off of being the first to curing something and then copywriting that and then being the only one to be able to sell that product until other people can figure out what it is.
Well, I feel like in today's age, it's not going to be a single person.
Well, I mean,
That's true.
it's not a single person. There'll be a lot of people getting rich, but there will be,
Well, you
a
also-
director who is a CEO who's saying, yeah, fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the day, I don't know what you call them, inventors, discoverers of a disease, like a cure for a disease.
Right, okay.
Research.
Yeah, just like
Research.
a
Researchers,
pharmaceutical
Yeah,
research.
he wouldn't be
Check out.
working for a company, right? He'd probably be independent.
So it's kind of both. I mean, back in the day, yeah, it would probably be independent. I mean, there was like Monsanto was,
Yeah.
that was an original drug company.
But when did they start?
Like I don't know when they came out with aspirin, but
Probably-
20s, I think.
How long?
20s if
So-
not earlier.
Yeah, so like before that,
Yeah.
you have like people that are making hella money because they're just like doing their own thing. But now they're like working
Well-
for a company.
Before, I don't think they were making as much money because it wasn't like the same medicine that we have now. Does that make sense? Like it was more
Yeah.
herbal or supplemental, whereas we have solidified data to go with what we have now, which kind of comes back to cost. So if you think about it, it takes a lot to do all that research, which is obviously why it costs so much for medications, and also why a lot of stuff doesn't get cured, because if there's no market for it, they're not gonna put in money for research to make a drug for a small patient population.
It's unfortunate.
I had a
Yeah.
high school teacher who was on the team for Roundup, and he was the first one to come up with Roundup.
Yeah.
But Monsanto owned his ass, and everything he made at the his 10 years or I think like 20 years there. So they gave him $1 for the patent for Roundup.
Oh my gosh.
$1.
I believe it too.
And now that's. I mean Roundup. I don't know if they use Roundup anymore, but that whole I feel like that base is they kind of ran with it. But like, he said he wasn't mad by it because it gave him the opportunity. It's kind of like if you worked at Disney and you created a lot for them. Those guys who do all their sketches and stuff like that, and they have like a vault of porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they own everything you do. So I feel like it's a lot like that, but they're giving you that opportunity and the resources.
Disney has a vault of porn.
Yeah, so Disney owns every sketch that their artists sketch. So artists will purposely draw like porn, and Disney has to keep it because it's like contractually they have to.
It's gonna be a wonderful exhibit one day.
Walt
Lots of
Disney's
money.
finest creation.
You haven't seen that though? It's like it's in movies. It's in stuff.
No.
Look at like The Little Mermaid. I think has the most.
Oh, in the back of the.
In the back
But
of
even in
eggs.
the rest of the movie too. Yeah.
there are a lot of penises. And
A lot of phallus.
I mean, you're under the
Phallic
ocean.
symbols.
You can get creative.
It's pretty hot.
lots of like seaweed and stuff.
Subtext and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gets
Exactly.
you like kind of in the mood.
The
Yeah.
ocean. Q
Yeah.
told me.
Sure.
Q told me that water was the perfect symbol for sex, and if you're like shooting a sexy scene, it should be in a pool.
That's not. Okay.
Let's drink some water, baby.
Well, Q, if you're watching this, I hope you're sitting down with a nice big glass of water and watching this podcast.
Q, if you're watching this.
I mean.
I think this is a perfect time to read some fan mail.
Oh.
You guys get to choose which one first.
The big one.
The big
Oh,
one,
I
obviously.
have to open it.
shit.
Ooh, that was mine.
Sure.
I don't know if I should
Here,
read
do
it.
it. Do it for the ceiling camera. Which
Stop it, I keep looking it up.
Hold on, don't read it out loud, because the last one was hate mail. So.
Hate mail. I think I sent you guys like an email or something or
You
a
sent us an
comment.
email, a
A comment on
comment.
your video. Did you guys ever get that?
No, let me
What?
actually pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Do you mind?
No, I mean wait till another episode so then it's like new mail. And I'm
It's
not
too
here.
late.
New
We'll
mail.
put it in the fan section.
Okay.
Can I
Do you
read
want me-
that?
yeah. I was gonna say, do you want me to read it to you? But you can. It's not bad. Well, it's a little bit bad. Depends how you take it.
Can I read
This is
it?
exactly how the
Read
other
it.
one. He goes, "Can
No,
I read
you
this?"
should be able to read that.
I know
What's
what
wrong
you
with
did,
it?
and I'm coming for you. Just let me know when it's most convenient for you.
It's like, that's nice. Okay. Thank you.
This is good handwriting. Justin.
It's definitely not Justin.
That was just to lead him on.
This one's even better.
It's just so simple. It's just so quick.
Jeez.
It'd be nice if he, yeah. Do you know him? Do you know who that is?
Miles likes this.
Yeah.
This is Johnny. I'm pretty sure Johnny wrote in last time. Or there's like a doppelganger. But I
Okay.
doubt it.
Johnny will get some work.
Johnny says,
Should we?
"Dear Justin, lose some weight."
You
Are
like
you guys
that one,
gonna put
Miles?
this up on the screen?
You like that one,
can you please like have a shot of this and just have it pop up?
We'll scan it for
Mail
something.
time. He opens it. Lose some weight. Closes it. Mail
I
time.
love our fans.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we get some response. I'll say that. People really respond.
Thank you, Johnny.
Any kind of publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah.
That's
I think
hilarious.
that was said earlier in the night. That's very relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, let me see if I can find this. And then
Yeah,
we
we'll
can
Oh,
probably
wrap it
meanwhile,
up.
would you guys like to? I haven't shown you the map.
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
It's a good map.
So, this is the map that our van. Well, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
The plans were, Eckert was going to come out of Laclede Station,
Sure.
and we were going to have like a Birdman stitch cut right there, and then we're gonna do like this whole one take where he goes blah 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 blah. Blah. He's like he's sending a voicemail to Jenna, and then he's coming down this alley, gets in a fight with Vince right here, and then ends up. We can't talk about it.
Say that.
But let's just say Eckert's allergic to peanuts. That's all I'm saying.
That's awesome.
We released that on Monday this week, so we can talk about that. But yeah, he ends up here chilling with some peanuts, and yeah, it was. No, I didn't. So Abby Dorning, she's very talented. You can follow her at a.dorning on Instagram.
Nice.
A-D-O-T and then Dorning. Very talented art director, and she also drew this house. This is the dream house that Jenna wants to end up getting.
Can I see that?
It's actually a real house on Winnebago Street in South St. Louis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Watch out for copy strike.
You think she'll come for us?
Yeah,
Dude,
but
that's amazing.
yeah, that's their goal. Is this house with this cool backyard landscape? But yeah,
Wow.
Metro.
So when does it drop?
Undetermined. I'm thinking, the dates due. For the class.
Like you like to run it like you do with Miles turning it in on the free.
Oh no,
Literally
no.
4 hours.
Yeah. Oh man, I was a part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I want to maybe say the fault of that. So,
No.
I had to run in. It was so much nerve. I ran in like 7 shorts. So I got into where we were playing our shorts. The whole class of shorts. What, 16 short
Yeah,
films?
16 short films.
And I came in like 8 in. So 8 short films already played, or 10, something like that. 10 short films already played. I come in with my tower computer and a mouse and my hard drive, and like I'm like in the back, like people are watching this and they just hear me like setting up my computer.
Well, the thing was, we had finished editing like 4 hours before class started.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, alright, let's export this baby. And we're like, maybe 2-3 hours, we'll have an hour buffer.
Yeah, we're like, let's go eat.
Yeah. So we went out, we got malts probably, and we come back, and it's like 5 hours or something. We're like, oh, this is not gonna work. So we canceled it, we tried it again. It looked okay, then it jumped up back. So we're like, Kane, I'm just gonna go to class.
And I'm like, I'll wait here.
Kane was like, I'm gonna wait.
Mike's sweating.
And then he came to class with his tower computer.
Yeah.
He was a hero. We just played it on Premiere, and the class loved it, so it's good.
Yeah, it was good. The teacher, that was the head of that showing, he was like, if you don't play today, you get a 0.
Yeah.
So the stakes kept getting higher and higher as the minutes went on, and
We actually had to wait after class to play it.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
class ended at 5:30.
half the crowd left.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
played it at like 5:45. Maybe.
That won't happen this time. No. I'm gonna get it done. I think what I'm gonna do to make back my $100, because that film broke me. Like I spent we got parking tickets. That was part of the budget.
Oh, yeah, we have like $95 parking space.
No.
How much?
75.
Yeah, something like that.
$75 in parking tickets.
That's okay.
That's your entire budget, guys.
That's okay.
Well, at least
It
the
might-
art only need 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll try to appeal them. But
I mean, you can try monetizing on YouTube.
I could try monetizing YouTube. Actually, what the plan is, I think we're gonna start a GoFundMe, kind of like you did, and we're gonna make the goal so low, like $200, and then we're gonna sell off our props, and then after that, we're going to. I think what we're gonna do is, for $800, you can own the rights to the film, and then I'm gonna split up the pay amongst the crew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you willing to give up the rights?
For $800, if someone's gonna pay $800 for it.
What if it's like Oscar worthy? Shot it in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
I don't know.
no. I'm sure it's great.
I know.
I'm sure.
I have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
It's something I was having fun with.
Yeah.
It's definitely it wasn't too stressful of a day. It was worth making for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
I always thought if you have fun on set, your film is gonna, at least check off that box. You know, like move forward well.
Yeah.
So if you have a good day on set, the work that you're gonna get out of it typically is gonna be pretty good if you're doing, if you're going through the process.
Yeah. And I was really impressed with what Jake came up with visually, and I know a lot of people were kind of wondering what it's like having me as a director, because inherently I'm very DP oriented. So even Q was like, "You can't touch camera," and then Brian was like, "I know you're operating," and I was like, "I'm not. I didn't touch the camera."
It looked like your style.
It was actually all Jake. I might have pointed him in the right space, or what I thought was the right space, but he
We shoot under a bridge, right? Like under the
yeah.
train,
Mhm.
and unless you don't knowledge, but under that bridge is a bunch of bird,
Yeah.
and there's a shit bird everywhere.
Oh, bird shit everywhere.
And we step on it a lot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I owe you guys a lot for that. Yeah. The crew really worked hard. Actually, so the whole dialogue scene, there's like 8 people all sitting in the back of this van while we're doing French overs in the front of the van. And everyone's getting like car sick because we're driving. We did like 6.
Your van?
Yeah, the one I rent,
Mm.
which, I mean, it's $60 a day, but that was like, maybe my budget was more than $100.
Starting to sound like it.
It's starting to sound like I spent a lot more. You know what? I didn't document what I spent, so it might be an expensive film.
Yeah, that $800
Definitely broke me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll come in clutch.
if someone owns the film, yeah. I know you guys are trying to wrap it up soon.
Yeah. No. Do you have like any final remarks?
Man, it's been a blessing to be on your guys' show. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thanks for helping out, Perry. I'm excited to see what you guys do. I feel like this school, St. Louis, it's all very similar in that there's so many different tribes of filmmakers. Like you and Justin, you guys are always creating stuff together. And then I'm always around Lindenwood kind of creating stuff with Matthias, Julius, and Vince. He became this great PM. You tell him to go get a helicopter and he'll do it. And he'll find you a pilot for it, and I didn't even ask for that. And he's just got connections beyond my, I don't know how he meets these people, but, it all happens.
You have your helicopter?
No. We didn't try on this one, but I'm sure if I asked him to, he could probably do it.
He's got the charisma.
He talks his way in anything. And then, so, we've got our Webster, and, and there's people who came from all over. There's so many small communities of St. Louis, and it's so fun to shoot in St. Louis.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I know I'm also trying to wrap up.
I'm sorry.
I know,
you
you bring up great points, so we'll cut around it or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But it's just really wonderful that so many different tribes, as you put them, are shooting, because, I don't think, some are better than others. I think
Of
that's
course.
natural.
Yeah.
But there are a lot that are kind of in the same ballpark
Mm-hmm.
that are creating very different stuff.
Yeah.
And that's really good for the diversity of film within St. Louis, and that's
Oh.
And then there's this competition, but it's not
it's great.
toxic.
No, it's not. It's very supportive.
Yeah.
We all use the same gear. We're all renting the same stuff.
Yeah, nobody's trying to F anybody over,
Mhm.
really. And we're like, yo, come help out. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay,
Yeah.
be right over.
So.
Yeah, Justin, you got anything?
Just gonna eat this last
Last
clementine.
one.
We're gonna have a montage of just you eating.
Someone's gonna make a super cut of. He blows his nose. Every episode you have to blow
You
your
ever
nose.
just stuck your nose though? And
Yeah.
No.
Good.
Or if you ever get like a tooth pulled, you get like the Novocaine, and sometimes it's citrus flavored, and it ruined oranges for me for a year.
Sometimes. Have you done it more than once?
Yeah,
Dang, that sucks.
I've had a lot of teeth pulled.
Me too. I think 2.
Oh, well, yeah, that's
That's
not
a
that
lot.
much.
It was a rookie number.
Yeah, come on, try 6. I had a very excited dentist, so
Ready to pull.
yeah.
You're an excited dentist.
Chelsea, final remarks?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me, even though I don't know that I was supposed to be here. But it's been fun. It's definitely been great. I've gotten food, which is even better.
Mhm.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for
Come back
coming
around.
on, guys. Oh,
Sure.
Perry. Any final remarks?
I don't know, like flying like half the earth to be in a podcast, not bad.
Yeah.
You guys flew him in. That's so nice.
Oh, yeah. That's
Because I didn't think I was gonna see him again. You know, as my producer, because he
Yeah.
was remote producing, and you guys brought him here. So like, I'm so happy I
Yeah,
got
well,
to see
yeah,
him.
well, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we got my.
Brought him from
Did you
Maplewood.
Do you live in Maplewood?
Oh no, like I just have a class and then.
It's a lot more simple.
All right. Did you hit it?
Oh, well,
God.
thanks, everybody.
God.
Podcast is over.
Yeah.